3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Joyce, an 18 years old singer and songwriter based in Taiwan. I'm one of the TEDxYouth speakers today. But before I start my speech, I want to ask you all a question. What do you expect to hear from an 18 years old? Well, look, I'm 18, not 80. I'm simply a high school student who loves to sing and write songs. And the reason I'm still singing and writing is because my mom said I'm good at it. So yeah, I'm not gonna pretend to be some perfect role model because that is definitely not who I am. I'm standing here today is to share the story of my 17 with you guys and how I just want to stay in 17 forever. So let's get into it. Well, about 2 years ago, I was studying 10th grade in Taichung Girls Senior High School, which is where we are right now. Suffering from school pressure and endless exam, I was basically one of those straight C students, and nothing I did was helping the situation. And there's a senior. She came up and she told me, if you can change the environment, change yourself. If you can change the environment, change yourself. Have any of you heard this sentence before? Show me your hand. Show me your hand if you have. Well, look like some of you have heard this before. Well, this sentence in Chinese will say, 山不转路转, 路不转人转. But I always found there's one little flaw in this concept, is that when people heard about this sentence, most of them will jump right into the change yourself part. We won't even consider to change the environment because it sounds complicated and unrealistic. And that's when it hit me. Well, I gotta at least try to change the environment before I give up on myself, right? And speaking of my environment back then, I was at school. Yeah, of course I was at school. Where else I could be, right? And that is a problem. You see, I spend almost 10 hours per day in school. But when I'm at school, there's always so many things that are going on at the same time. I don't really have time to experience life and figure out who I am or what I want. I don't really have myself. And that is a moment when I found out that I might need to take a break and live my life a little more. Also, the moment I started panicking. Does that mean I gotta give up on school now? Or like, should I study homeschool myself from now on? Well, then how people are gonna see me? I mean, my friend, my family, or my neighbors. Yeah, my neighbors could be a problem. So after I spent some time to calm myself down and also have a discussion with my parents and my teachers, I get on my courage. I made a huge decision. I decided to drop out of high school for 1 year to see where it can take me. And I'm not gonna lie, this decision I made had changed my whole universe completely. In a good way. It really changed me in a good way. You see, after I dropped out, I've got plenty of time to try new things that I'm actually into. I started writing my own music, and I started singing at several restaurants. I got my own busking license, and also I built my own homemade recording studio. I've done tons of amazing things throughout the whole year since I finally got time to actually listen to my own voice. Well, mentally and physically. And one of the highlights throughout the whole year was during the time I spent at a restaurant. I experienced some bright side of the society as I've always been, but I also found some dark side too. An unforgettable one was when the restaurant manager, he fired me through a simple text in 3 a.m. in the morning. And then he just blocked me from the whole work group. He told me that I was too young to sing, even though I've been working there for almost half a year. I didn't even tell my parents that I was getting fired because I feel kind of ashamed of it. And now they know. I kept asking myself that what did I do wrong? Or am I not good enough to be a singer? Or am I not special enough to be a performer? But then, all of a sudden, all the anxiousness and desperation actually ended up leading me to write my first song, which is discovered by this record label that I'm working with right now. So it's like a dream, right? Who knows that getting fired is actually a blessing in disguise. And that is how I learned a huge lesson in my 17, which is life is unpredictable. But if you can keep listening to your own voice and follow your heart, things will always end up right. Because the difference between listening to your voice and listening to others is that yours will never betray you. 17, oh, please don't let back in stay. Maybe one more day, just stay. This is a song I wrote called Staying 17, also my debut single. But a song Staying 17 is not simply about to stay in the age of 17. It is actually about to stay in a mindset, to remain a passion, and to remind me to always listen to my own voice like when I was 17. And I believe that all of us must have this one precious period when we were all still listening to my own voice, to listen to our own voice without any hesitation. And for me, it was in my 17. And you can find your 17 too. So, at the end of my speech, I have one last sentence to say that could conclude all the words I've said today. And that is a quote from the book, The Alchemist, which is, remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. I'm Joyce. Thank you for listening.